Are you guys ready for some football? In just a matter of hours, the Dallas Cowboys kick off their season as they take on the Philadelphia Eagles. And our first guest knows what it means to be on game day and to be on the sidelines. The director of corporate security for the Dallas Cowboys and author now, Larry Wansley, is here to take us into the pages of his new book, Tough Streets, Rough Skies and Sunday Sidelines. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
So glad to have you indeed, especially when you're literally everywhere and anywhere with the Cowboys, so you have all the secrets. Now, tell me, why did you think this was the right time? Why did you want to write a memoir?
Well, actually, it's been a long time in coming. It started out as a tribute to 9/11. It was going to be strictly about terrorism and the result, obviously, 9/11. The pandemic came along, illnesses and everything else. It just pushed everything back, and my publisher said, well, wait a minute, you've done so many wild and crazy things. Make it about everything. So shifted gears, and now it encompasses everything that I've had the privilege to do.
Let's start at the beginning of that story, right? Because like you said, your resume is quite long. You were in the Marines at first, and then what do you think, looking back, look at you right there, nice and in your dress blues. What did you think at that time when you were in those dress blues, when you were, fighting for your country? Did you ever dream of what was to come?
No, I was thinking about surviving, period. But no, I had my dreams just like everyone else does, and along the way they tend to shift a little bit, detour here and there. But by virtue of the fact that I was always around and working with great people who really helped me and guided me and directed me and frankly made me look a lot better than I deserved.
Very good. Well, from being a Marine, you then switched over to California. You became a detective there, is that right?
I was a rookie cop. I was a cop in a city called Compton, California.
Oh boy.
Back in the heart of the Watts riots. And my introduction to law enforcement, my first 20 minutes on the street, my third day on the job or thereabouts, I got involved in a shootout.
Oh, Lord.
And my partner and I were ambushed by 5 or 6 guys, and we were in a tremendous shootout, and it was very exciting and so forth. So as a young guy fresh from the Marines, I'm thinking, hey, this is pretty interesting stuff.
I might like this. I think you have the opposite feeling of literally everyone. I'm over here freaking out, and you're like, this is kind of exciting. Now, tell me from there, what then led you to the Cowboys?
Well, from there, obviously, not obviously, but I went to the FBI. The FBI and the CIA were recruiting me. And back then, it was at a time when I was really quite more interested in the CIA. But this was at a time when apartheid was at its highlight. Nelson Mandela was in Robben Island in prison, and the CIA wanted to send me to South Africa in a covert role as part of the anti-apartheid movement. I thought, I've got a wife and a brand new baby. I think I'll just opt for this FBI thing. That sounds...
So, Mr. Larry, you do have a line. You're like, I'm not willing to cross this.
That was my line.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But off into the FBI, and then the FBI was at a point where I went almost immediately into undercover work. Patty Hearst, the SLA, the revolutionary groups back in California, the Marcus Foster assassination, and the bombings and everything else. And that really put me on the path to the undercover world. So from there, it was one undercover operation after the other. And the longest was about 2.5 years in LA, and actually came to Dallas to get away from undercover work. I had been very successful at it, but came to go back to normal FBI stuff, if you will. I was here one day, and I was right back in it.
No break, no nothing. You just dived right back in.
Right, because it was so incredibly fascinating. The thrill of the chase, the challenge is unbelievable.
So now that you've done this and you look back on it, I mean, how is your mental? Because you've seen so much. Like, how do you cope with it?
Prayer. Absolutely. There have been many times, there have been 7 times in my life when I've, nearly lost my life. The worst, the scariest was in East Texas, an undercover operation, and a corrupt official, a sheriff, was in a partnership with me. He thought I was a mob guy, but he thought that I was holding out on him. And he had his deputies pick me up, and we took a walk in Kilgore out in in an oil field. And he stopped and he said, "The word around town is that you've got a lot of action going that I'm not getting my cut for." He said, "That's bad for my reputation." And he pulled out his gun and he cocked it and he put it to my head, and I thought, I got a real problem here.
Oh
I really do.
Yes.
And I thought, if I tell him, really, my mob people will come take him out if he whacks me. No, he runs that part of the state, so he would think, yeah, let him come on.
Mr. Larry, this is a lot. This is this is a lot.
Yeah.
You've been through so much. I want to get to the good parts. I want to get, which I think for you are those were the good parts. But let's get to the part where it slowed down a little
Let's do it.
bit. When we get
Sure.
to the Cowboys, even you bodyguarding for Whitney Houston. I mean,
Right.
my goodness, you just went from doing undercover to working with all the celebrities.
Yeah, that came along. I knew her music. I loved her music. I didn't know her or anything like that, but had an offer from her father to become her bodyguard. And at that time, I was with the Cowboys. And I asked Tex Schramm, I told him, this is what's happening. He said, wait a minute. The NFL is going to start an international league. So if I let you go do this, assure me that nothing will change here, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I'll let you go do it, but you have to promote football, which I did. So at every hotel stop along the tour, I had 3 or 4 boxes of Cowboys swag. And so I would get the celebrities, you know, because they all follow one another in the concerts. I get them all duded up in Cowboys
Not
gear.
you spreading the gear all over the country.
Oh, sure. I mean,
Okay, so what are we thinking for tonight? Do we think it's going to be a win? Are we going to walk away with the W?
Of course.
He's like, of course. It's no question at all. Larry said it's a new season, it's a new era, and we're going into it strong.
Absolutely.
Mr. Larry, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you.
So excited about your new book. All of his stories you can actually find in this book, and you can find out so much more about Larry Wansley and his book, Tough Streets, Rough Skies and Sunday Sidelines, at LarryWansley.com.